And joining us now is CBS News Chief Washington Correspondent Bob Schieffer. Bob, good morning.
Good morning.
The president at times had a joking tone, at other times very assertive. What did you think overall stylistically of his speech?
Well, I tell you, this was an effort by the White House, and I base this on not just off thoughts off the top of my head, but some reporting talking to White House officials today. The president's main goal tonight was to convince people that he is connected to them, that he hasn't lost touch, that he's not part of the Washington that most people think isn't working, that most people think is broken. He wanted people to know that he's as frustrated with the process and the system and the bickering and all of the partisan name-calling as people out in the country. Because one thing people at the White House know is people out in the country do not like any of that. They want the two sides to work together. And so the president kind of took it to the Republicans in his speech. He said, look, these are my ideas. If you've got some better ones, call me and we'll talk about it. So a lot of this tonight was simply the president's trying to reconnect and really restart an administration that, quite frankly, at this point is stalled. It's stalled out over health care. They had this big scare up in Massachusetts when a Republican won Ted Kennedy's seat, an almost unheard of event. So the White House was trying to get it going again, and this, I think, the main purpose of the speech was just that.
And one topic that all Americans agree right now that they need to get going on is jobs. President Obama laid out a pretty specific plan, saying $30 billion for community banks to lend to small businesses. He suggested tax credits and breaks for small businesses. How effective do you think these ideas are just from the onset?
Well, he does have a majority in the House. He still has a majority in the Senate, but of course there it takes 60 votes to get anything done. The Republicans immediately said they don't like the idea of using that so-called TARP money to start another jobs program, but they as yet have really offered no alternative to that. So whether or not he's going to be able to get cooperation on that, we'll find out in the weeks ahead. But what you saw tonight was the president moving jobs and the economy to the top, to the front of his list of things to do. Health care, which has occupied this administration for the last year, is suddenly back down, well, it was 35 minutes, I think it was, into the speech before he even mentioned health care. I don't think you're going to hear all that much. You may hear something, but I don't think you're going to see much action on health care, especially the bill that's in the Senate right now, at least for the next month and maybe longer. We may have seen the last of health care, and the health care reform bill that the Senate passed, as we know it, may actually be dead.
Because President Obama did talk about how we are so close. He said, let's make that one last push on health care reform. But like you said, a lot of people are saying it's DOA, that we're not going to get any farther than we've gotten at this point.
Well, Washington is a place of many resurrections. I've seen a lot of things that have been pronounced dead and thrown off to the side of the road that suddenly came back to life as if by magic. So you can't mark off health care totally and permanently as dead. But right now, I think the chances of any kind of significant legislation in that area is very slim. And I do not believe this administration is going to really focus on that until they can say we have done this to get the economy more on track. I think most people in Washington agree that we've kind of bottomed out as far as the economic crisis. But they will tell you at the White House they're a long way from being where they want to be. It looks like unemployment is going to be around 10% for the rest of this year. Until that changes, I don't think you're going to see very much else happen.
The president talked a little bit about the global economy, how we need to be a stronger player in the global economy, in particular when it comes to green energy and jobs like that, trade agreements. Should that be a priority right now? Is that going to help create the jobs that we need and improve the economy that everyone's hoping?
Well, it would certainly help. But I mean, again, saying this is what we ought to do, everybody wants to sell more products, more American products overseas. But how do you do that without having a glut of foreign products come into this country. And so it's a very complicated issue. I think it's going to require a lot more than just saying this is what we really want to do, this is our goal. I think everybody agrees on the goal. They just don't agree on how we get there and how we work that out.
All right, CBS News Chief Washington Correspondent Bob Schieffer. Bob, as always, thank you.
Thank you.